What is up, ladies and gentlemen? NoZoupForYou here, and it's Monday. We're back at it again, and there has been a lot of news in this past week. Now, I know I touched on the removal of Deadeye. I think the community as a whole is very happy about this move, and just to kind of, I guess, add to this whole thing, if you're expecting a giant meta shift with Deadeye removed, don't get too disappointed if things don't change a lot, because honestly, I don't think it's going to change the way that a lot of players play. You're still going to see a lot of battleships in the back. You're still going to see a lot of Thunders in the back. The only difference is that they're going to be slightly less accurate, and you're not going to get pulverized the way that you were before if you encountered one of these ships with Deadeye. So while it might not change the way players play, it's at least going to change their effectiveness, and I believe that's a win. And once again, for those of you that missed the video or missed the news, it is getting replaced by Swift and Silence, which is basically a destroyer skill, but they're going to use that for battleships as well, giving a 10% increase to your ship speed while undetected. So this is going to help those slower ships like the USN battleship split, and it'll also help those faster battleships as well. It's going to allow you to get into flanking position a lot quicker, and personally, I find this as a battleship player that likes to brawl a lot more useful than Deadeye, which just causes very lackadaisical gameplay and forces you to play in the back. So overall, I'm happy with that move. But we covered that. The thing that I want to cover right now is we've got new ships on the way. Again. Yes, more. It seems like we're always getting new ships. And, there's nothing wrong with new ships being added to the game. It's awesome. I mean, I would like some new maps and everything else. But Wargaming right now is knee-deep in pretty much mapping a complete world beneath the world. For those of you that missed it, they are working on underwater terrain features because submarines are still coming into the game at some point. And the photos they provided look absolutely stunning. They're creating this undersea world that is gorgeous from what I've seen in the photos, so that's something to look forward to as well. Well, I don't know. If you're not looking forward to subs, then you're probably not looking forward to this, but it is coming eventually, and I know it feels like it's been a very long time since the word submarine has been mentioned, or we've seen anything regarding them, so these photos that Wargaming has released are really the first things we've seen regarding submarines in a very long time, but this shows that they are moving forward. But those obviously aren't the new ships that I'm talking about. The new ships I'm talking about are Dutch cruisers. Yeah, I know, right? For those of you in that area in Europe, you might be happy that these are coming. These ships are going to be very interesting, actually. This is a complete tech line starting from Tier 1 and ending at Tier 10. Now, the unique things about these ships are that they have a new consumable on them, and this is probably going to be the most controversial thing that they have. It's called Airstrike, and I'm going to touch on that here in a little bit, but I'm going to read you what Wargaming has said about these ships. These cruisers were developed for the Netherlands East Indies fleet, though work on most was interrupted by the German invasion in 1940. The ships were designed to counter Japanese heavy cruisers. So that should be a key right there of what these ships are going to be good with. They're going to be heavier. They're not going to be light cruisers. Dutch cruisers perform best at close and medium range. Again, this sounds very similar to German cruisers, supporting allies in the fight for key areas. They have good survivability for a cruiser due to strong armor, and again, heavy cruiser, especially at high levels, and also have good concealment and maneuverability. So I wonder if they're going to have turtleback armor or something similar to that. The cruisers are equipped with a new type of armament, Airstrike, which we're going to touch on soon. High-tier ships have a big caliber, and their characteristics, such as fire duration, hit points, and armor, are similar to those of large cruisers. Key features: good maneuverability and concealment, but low firing range and rate of fire. That kind of makes sense for a heavy cruiser, though I think people are used to long range on those, especially if you play USN heavy cruisers. Well, I take that back, because Des Moines doesn't have long range unless you make it that way. I guess I'm talking more about the Alaska and those type of battle cruisers. Hydroacoustic search will be on it, as well as choice between fighter and spotting aircraft starting at Tier 4. Repair party consumable with increased reload speed and defensive AA available from tier 8 and up. Strong armor, and these are the calibers for your 8, 9, and 10. 203mm, 240mm, and 283mm. So that's pretty generous right there. So let's talk about Airstrike right now, which this is the controversial aspect to these ships. This is what players are talking about, and I don't know if players are going to be too happy about this right now. So basically, Airstrike are airplanes that you can call in and they carpet bomb an area equivalent to about 2 battleships. These are not player controlled aircraft. You do not get to pilot these. So you're going to select a portion on the map where you think that the ship is going to be. You're going to call it in. They're going to come in. They're going to drop it. The bomb descends a certain distance with parachutes. Then the parachutes detach after a little bit and the bombs fall the rest of the way. So I know some people think this is probably how normal aircraft carriers should play, but I don't know what players are going to think about this being on regular ships. So again, this is kind of a controversial aspect. We're going to have to see how it plays out, how it plays when we get them. I mean, it's an interesting concept, but I don't know if it's a good concept at this point. Again, we're just going to have to see what happens with it when it starts getting play tested. For those of you that missed it, Tier 8, we've got a new American premium cruiser coming. This is the Uss Congress. A lot of people have made fun of the name of it and said, are we going to get the Senate next? Are we going to get the Declaration of Independence next? So, yeah, interesting name, but this is a predecessor of the Alaska-class cruisers. Basically, they just took it, well, the Alaska that is, and dropped it down a tier, and there you have it. So, yeah, another battlecruiser type ship, but this time at tier 8. I'm down with that. I've got no issue. I'm a fan of USN ships in general and cruisers, and I think it kind of fills a gap at that place. So yeah, I'm for it. We'll see how it plays. I'm excited for it. Maybe not necessarily the name. I think they could have probably picked something else, but interesting thing about this ship is its gun configuration. The front turrets, you've got 3 barrels on one turret and 2 on the other. So basically they just took an Alaska and removed 1 barrel from each side. So exciting, right? I know. And also there's a premium Dutch cruiser coming out at tier 8, the De Zeven Provinciën. I'm sure I absolutely butchered that. I'm going to say that probably means province, and I would think that De Zeven is probably a province in in Holland. You know, that's just a guess, though. I'm not certain. Didn't research this. I'm just making assumptions here, and you know what they say when you assume things, so there you go. And this makes up a lot of news of what's happening right now in World of Warships. So a lot of things to look forward to right there. A lot of, I guess, little breadcrumbs of what's coming our way. Submarines are back in the spotlight again with the changes that are going on in the underwater mapping. So those of you that have been waiting for submarines are excited about them. Yes, they're still in the pipeline, and those of you that don't want them, yes, they're still in the pipeline. They're coming at some point. In addition to that, there's a lot of ships out there being tested right now. There's a lot of Japanese ships. We've got the hybrid ships with the planes that you can launch and control from the back. Tone, Issei, there's a lot of stuff out right there. Wargaming has been very busy right now, and that is something to be happy about. That is always a good thing when Wargaming is working on improving the game. I mean, say what you will, you know, Deadeye probably should have been put in, but they removed it. They listened to us, and they actually did it pretty quickly. So I got to give them kudos on that. And the Dutch line, I know a lot of people have wanted that and more European flavor ships. So that just adds as well. And while you might not like the sound of the new airstrikes, it is unique and it does add a new flavor to the game. So, you know, overall, Wargaming is willing to push the boundaries and keep the game fresh 5 years on. So, Yeah, kudos to them. And I want to know your thoughts, though. What do you think about all these ships coming? What do you think about the USS Congress? What do you think about this new form of Airstrike and Deadeye being removed? Just let me know in the comments of this video. If you have not subbed and you're a longtime follower, please do that. Join us on this journey of World of Warships, and I will catch you all later. Zoop out.